Hello human people, and welcome to a new kind of video I like to call Looking for a Reason, where I'm taking a look at bad movies and trying to figure out what are they trying to say. And we might be starting this series off with the meaningest of all movies.
Howard the Duck.
A 1986 movie directed by one George Lucas. So without further ado, let's get started. We start in Duck World with some carefully framed shots looking over a duck pattern, and before we get too far into this, I should warn you that... Oh goddammit movie, I was getting to that. So yeah, as I was trying to say, this movie has a weirdly sexual slant. As we go through this movie, there's gonna be a lot of that, so, hold on to your butts. Anyway, back to the plot. We see that our hero, one Howard T. Duck, a has-been rock star and movie nerd, has a pretty miserable time with his whole life thing. Although he might also be into big-budget porn, because what else can a movie called Breeders of the Lost Stork be? That is, until a mysterious force yanks him out of his living room and across the stars, where he ends up in Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland.
And because this is an 80s movie, he's of course immediately attacked by a bunch of punky youths. A lot of slapsticks, hijinks ensue, of which I want to highlight one thing. Satan's sluts. This biker gang comes out of nowhere, and it feels like they should be a bigger part of the movie, like they should at least reappear in the movie. But no. This is their only appearance. And the movie doesn't say this, but in my headcanon, this is an all-lesbian biker gang kicking patriarchy's ass. Anyhow, this all leads up to Howard ending up at a bar where we are introduced to Beverly, played by Leah Thompson, and her band, Cherry Bomb. And after that, Mr. Dollface Jacket and another guy creep on Beverly, but is rescued by Howard and his quack fool. Although it seems that Beverly was kinda already kicking the guy's asses. After bonding a bit over some righteous violence, Howard elaborates on his predicament, and Beverly seems to believe it more or less as much as a sane person would. But like a normal person, she invites this dark, potentially mentally disturbed person into her home, which I'm honestly not sure if it's a really kind thing to do, or if she just lacks any sort of self-preservation skills. And here we see a sign of burgeoning romance. And yes, this will be a thing. Is the world ready for human-duck relations? That's something I won't answer. Also this.
Howard.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd had that kind of reaction to a lint covered past its expiry date condom, but you do you, Beverly. And Beverly also helps by taking Howard to a science friend, Phyllis. Although it seems that this guy is more of a janitor of some kind, and honestly, for the amount of shit they give him, I kinda hope he's at least doing what he loves. And because this romance is of the extra hot kind, Beverly and Howard have their third act breakup in the first act, which starts something that defines most of the first half of this movie. A totally meaningless tangent, in which Howard tries to get a job, but also doesn't want one because he tries to dress weird, and ends up at a straight person bathhouse. Makes a weird joke about mating season even though he seems to be a lech all year round, and has an epic I quit moment.
I quit!
What is the payoff from this arc? He ends up back at the club he met Beverly at and is miserable like last time. Only this time it's Howard who serves some beatdown and releases Beverly's band from their sleazy pimp wannabe manager. And for some reason this bartender seems really into it. Because bartenders love fights. It's also kinda implied that he's their manager now, because being a manager is like Highlander or something. Naturally, this all leads to Beverly inviting Howard to her apartment. Letterman and Jill. And the classic, the ladies' man is actually scared when a woman throws herself at him, haha scene. And are they having a sex confusion all in one scene? Oh boy, oh boy. But yeah, here's where things actually start happening again in this movie. Phil's actually found a scientist, one Professor Jenkins, that accidentally drew Howard to Earth, and they might have a way of sending him back. So the method of how Howard was transported from one planet to another was lasers, as in concentrated beam of light. Somehow that became an interstellar tractor beam. I know this is a weird thing to be bothered by in a movie that tries to tackle the logistics of human duck love, but lasers in the movies make things explode, go pew. They don't beam people up, although they are beams, I guess. Anyhow, Dr. Jenkins heads on over to the lab. The rest of the lot follows soon after. Our romantic pair have a sweet moment together. Not weird at all. And they all finally get to the lab. And everything seems pretty fine. So it turns out, as the science people were fiddling with the laser transporter things and more, the whole thing activated and...
What if we brought down something else this time?
That something very obviously hit Professor Jenkins, and now something is very wrong with him. And what do our intrepid heroes do about this? Well, they kinda actively refuse to notice anything wrong, instead cracking jokes about it.
I'm about to become something else.
Oh, great. Like a sex change or something.
Don't toe that line, movie. I'm kinda on your side, but you're on thin ice. But don't worry, it's not like Howard and Beverly ignoring the obvious is going to be a major recurring joke for over a quarter of the movie or anything. Jenkins, who is still more or less in control of himself, grabs the science doohickey that is required to use the laser again. Which is super good because he totally isn't getting possessed by some eldritch being from beyond the stars. Anyhow, for reasons I have no recollection of, the cops arrive and strip search Howard. As you do. When asked what is the charge they are arresting Howard on, the detective says,
Illegal alien.
"Yeah, you're a bit too proud of that one, aren't you?" However, Howard, Beverly and Jenkins escape and go on a wild hijinks heavy car ride, which honestly has little substance.
Step on. Don't close your eyes.
Until they get here. So I have no idea what Cajun sushi would be like, but I'd be willing to try it. And this place is weird. I know it's some kind of timely reference to what was going on in the 80s in the US, but I'm not quite old enough to know what. And I lived a few too many thousand kilometers away as well. But I just love this waitress character. They're just so calm and sweet.
Oh, no, we have fights in here all the time.
Although she must have been pretty confused when someone who she thought was a child accused her of serving him his own kind. And come on, Howard, it's not really cannibalism. They aren't probably even duck eggs. And even if they were, it's more like a human eating a monkey fetus or something. Yeah, okay, you win this round, Howard. And on a personal note, yeah, eggs are disgusting. But yeah, here's when Howard and Beverly finally start taking Not Jenkins seriously. Not because they have found an ounce of deductive ability, no, but because he starts shooting lightning out of his hands. Long story short, Howard is almost made into sushi. Not Jenkins saves him, but kidnaps Beverly. Another hijinks-filled car ride ensues, but this time with flying. Some highlights from this trip. Not Jenkins tries to 3 Mile Island, Ohio, and 3 Mile Island is actually mentioned.
I think you're all going to find this very interesting. You know, honestly, Congressman, this 3 Mile Island, China Syndrome, meltdown stuff, that's all history.
And we get a weirdly heroic piece of music for Not Jenkins going into the reactor, which he later gets for a murder spree of sorts. Oh, and I might be reading too much into this, but apparently not Jenkins needs Beverly with him because the baddie bads need a human body to grow in, and there's one in Jenkins, but more are gonna go in Beverly. So does that mean that they're going to impregnate her? She does this looks down to realize what her body is like moment, and I just gotta wonder. I don't know, I just thought it was like that for some reason. So, hijinks journey over, we are at the lab again. Time for the final showdown. And this is where Howard, who has been kind of a lazy, sleazy curmudgeon before this, turns into an action movie star.
Now it's my turn.
And has to fight whatever the hell this is. Oh, and don't worry about Jenkins. He got blasted by Howard's detox ray, and that's what came out of him. True story. And honestly, this is the least interesting part of the movie to me. We got a big gun that looks like a phallus, a big thing that kinda looks like a vagine, and a small duck. Well, regular sized on his world, but you know. Howard's pink energy is too strong and the evil is defeated. And Howard has to decide between letting more evil things onto Earth or getting a chance to go home one day. So he picks his interspecies relationship and stays on Earth. Pepper on some cringy jokes and done. Well, not done. We still got the epilogue, which is a cherry bomb concert with their new song about Howard. Question. Is that weird? Is it weird to make a song about the manager? Feels a bit weird. Anyhow, we get to a where are they now moment as we see that Beverly and the band are super successful now. Howard is their manager and Philzy is a order give stage person. And of course, Howard joins the band on stage and plays with Beverly. Oh, that sounded wrong. Ooh, okay, yeah. Plays music with Beverly. Yes, including playing with his bill. And Beverly most definitely doesn't play the guitar with her teeth. And we close on a tender moment with our romantic leads. So I kinda unironically love this movie. Sure, yeah, it's dumb, the main character's border on unlikable, the structure is wonky, and the whole thing has this weird horny vibe. But yeah, I enjoy watching this. Maybe it's the suit. I'm a sucker for those kinds of practical effects in movies. Or maybe it's Beverly's fashion choices. Just all of them. But we aren't here for my attempts to justify why I like this objectively not at all good movie. We are here for what it means. Well, what I think it means anyhow. But I think at its core this movie is about generational anxiety. Let's look back at the movie for a bit. At the beginning, it's established that Howard is a has-been musician whose career may be fondly remembered, but it's definitely over. He's sad, he's lonely, his Friday night consists of flipping through the channels and having some quality me time with an issue of Play Duck. This continues when he's pulled to Earth and he immediately comes to conflict with 80s caricatures of youth culture. He doesn't fit in their world in more than one sense. And when you look at how Howard dresses, you get the sense that he's a bit older. But then the romantic lead, Beverly, has trouble finding a success in this world as well. Not because she doesn't fit in, but because she doesn't have the means to get ahead. And this is hampered by the other young people around her. It's only with Howard becoming her and her band's manager that she finds wider success. So basically, the movie says that, hey, it's okay if you're a bit old and your star moment in life passed already, because the young people of today can manage on their own and need you to manage them. And then Howard can also prove his virility by being an older man with a younger partner. So yeah, the horniness is thematic. At the end of the movie, Beverly has discovered success because of Howard, and Howard has discovered a new place for himself and in essence conquered the previously scary youth culture. So this video was supposed to be a first in a series of videos where I look at bad movies trying to figure out what they are trying to say and what their attempted meaning is. Sadly, I don't currently have the energy or time to keep doing this, at least regularly, so it's going on hold. But this might be a format that I return to when I actually have some good material to work on. Maybe one day. One day I'll get to ponder on movies like Double Down, The Room, or some weird movie I picked up at the thrift store. But until then, why don't you give this video a like and subscribe while you're at it? And if you're feeling really generous, consider heading over to my Patreon and support my future videos. In any case, I'll see you again in the next video.